This looks like a job for Superman.
Hey everybody, Reds the Collector here with another action figure review. And this one, of course, as you can see, is the new 52 Teen Titans Superboy figure. I'm going to start you off right now by saying I am extremely disappointed in DC Collectibles and disappointed with this figure in general. Any of you who are friends with me on Facebook know that saw the pictures that as soon as I opened the packaging and I wasn't even like pulling on the figure, it just, as soon as I touched the figure, his left leg just fell off. And unfortunately I bought this through eBay, so it's going to be a process. But I'm so unhappy with this figure. Because not only did the left leg fall off, it is a ball joint and I've got it back on, but I will not be touching that left leg in any way, shape, or form. But there's just, on top of that, there's so many other quality control issues, and anybody who watches my videos, or really anybody's videos who's been doing DC Direct reviews lately, can tell you there's so many QC issues with DC Collectibles now. So many QC issues that it's terrible. And I've sent a long email to DC. It's been almost a week now, and they still have not bothered to respond to me. I don't think I'm ever going to get a response, but I mean their quality just keeps going worse and worse. Like ODC, that's me, Anthony said, they just keep making everything cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and keeping the same price, if not upping the price. I mean, they don't even give us stands anymore. I'm not even worried about stands right now. I just want a figure that's not going to fall apart directly out of the package. So before we look at anything else, let's take a look at the QC issues. You can see the paint drip right here in the S. There's a nice little gouge, it looks like, right there in that little part of the S. As you can see, there's little silver everywhere. He must have a silver undercoat. So you can see silver there, silver here, silver there, silver here on the arm, here on the chest, torso. You can see the paint app. I'm trying to be very careful with him because I don't want him to fall apart any more than he already has. Black paint coming over the red here. Red paint going over the black there. More silver here on the back. More just terrible paint apps here. It's just the overall design of the figure. There's more silver. The overall design of the figure is cool in general, but DC is basically just sending out all this just shit product. Just from my own experiences within the last few months, I had a damaged Kenneth Rocafort statue. I had a damaged Deathstorm figure. And even though this was a DC Direct, I just opened my Earth 2 Blackest Night Superman to do a review for somebody, and as soon as I opened the figure, his hand just fell off and had to be glued back on. And it's not just me, you know. I mean, I have really shitty luck. There's no getting around. I have shitty luck. But it's not just me. Trav Nasty, his Kenneth Rocafort statue had the same molding issues than mine did. There have been, with the Ultraman figures, there have been just terrible paint applications. I saw one where the Heat Vision eye was like totally in the wrong place. It wasn't even on the eye. And actually looking at mine, now that I saw that person's looking at mine, I can see that mine's not quite right either on the eye. Terrible paint applications on like the U for Ultraman, on the belt. Terrible paint applications on Bizarros that have been falling apart directly out of package. And these are brand new figures. This is stuff that's just being produced, and as much money as we're paying for this stuff is supposed to be a high quality. These are supposed to be collectible action figures. These are meant for us, the collectors. This isn't something, you're not going to spend this much money and just hand this over to a child to play with. I mean, that's what you know, the Mattel crap is for, the Hasbro crap. You know, people aren't buying like Marvel Select figures and DC collectibles figures to hand over to children. These are meant to be displayed. These are collectible action figures. And granted, there are some people out there that money isn't an issue, and maybe their kid wants the cool figure, and they give it to them, but that's not primarily what this is for. These are primarily to be on display, to be well loved by collectors and taken care of. And, you know, even worse, giving this to a kid and having it break in the first 10 seconds. You know, I mean, I guess when you come down to it, it's a toy. It should be able to stand up to some playtime if, you know, you're handing it to a kid. You know, all I'm doing is sticking it in my display case and it breaks out of package. You know, you hand this to a kid who's flying and kicking and doing all this other crap with it and it breaks in the first 10 seconds. And that's even worse. And I'm sorry, I'm really, really mad about this. I got him off of eBay and I knew it was a mistake when I did it. I normally buy everything through Amazon. So that if there is an issue, like with the Death Storm, I sent him right back, got a new one. New one is fine. The Rockerford I bought directly through DC Collectibles website, so that was not an issue. With this, and I can't blame the seller, I mean, it was new in package, but of course DC isn't going to do shit about it because I got it off of eBay. I have a plan, I'm going to get it taken care of, but who knows if the replacement one I get is going to be shitty. I mean, I'm just really upset about it. I really am. It sucks a lot. I know another person who's getting theirs through eBay, and I really, really hope that they're not going to have the same issues that I've had. So with all of that bitching out of the way, let's actually take a look at the figure and try to overlook the paint apps and not touch that leg and see what we've got here. Like I said, design-wise... Okay, come on, focus. Design-wise, I mean, he's cool. I like the hair sculpt. I like the face sculpt. It is pretty comic accurate. The S is like a little off-center and a little strange. But I mean, the black and the red, they do pop very, very well. He's got a very lean body style. We've got, again, new articulation, and that's another thing from DC, is they keep, every, like, 5-6 figures, they keep changing the articulation. I actually really like the articulation on the Crime Syndicate figures and Bizarro. That's actually some really nice articulation. It doesn't really take away from the sculpts. But again, they, just changed their articulation again. So, I mean, stick with something. That's probably why you just... Sorry, I'm getting angry again, and let's just finish off with the figure. I think the head's a little too big. To me, the head's a little too big. He's got a kind of a gigantic head for his body. He's got a very lean body, but the head is just oversized. I think it's supposed to be in a ball joint, but you get very, very little movement. You got a little up and zero down. And of course, he does have side to side. I'm being very careful with him because I don't want him to fall apart any more than he has. He, of course, has ball jointed shoulders. He's got bicep rotation. He does, of course, have an elbow joint, and he does have like a forearm rotation instead of like a wrist. I do like the little diamond shaped here on the hands. I do like the fingerless gloves. So there you go for arm rotation. Of course, the same on the other side. He has no waist articulation to speak of at all. No crunch, no rotation. The legs. He does have knee. He, of course, does have hip. I'm going to do with the right leg here, but I'm still going to do this very carefully. He goes up to about there. He's not going to have much in the way of back, because, again, I don't want the right leg to pop off. He's got a little bit of side to side, because it is a ball joint. Obviously, I know that because it popped off, but not a whole lot. And then again, he's got kind of some weird articulation on the feet. He's got like a shin rotation. And then he has ankle rockers, which is stuck and I'm not going to mess with. So this figure, overall design-wise, it's comic accurate. And if it wasn't for all the QC issues, I'd be extremely happy with the figure. It's got some weird articulation, some weird joints, but overall, I mean, design-wise, it's cool. It's just, yeah, the quality controls, it's terrible. Now, just for a comparison, I pulled a couple of my other Superboy figures out of the display case. I also pulled the new 52 Superman. So I'm going to start with the new 52 Superman and get a side-by-side with them. Now, one of my other complaints on this guy is I think he should be a little smaller. He's a little too close to the Superman scale. He's obviously a little shorter and a little thinner, but their scales are really pretty close here. Trying to be ever so gentle with this guy. The scale really isn't that far off, and I think in the comics he's portrayed as just a little bit smaller than what we have here in scale. But I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple other figures just so we can see some differing scales on him. Now, the first one I'm going to show you is an older figure from like 2003, 2004, and that's the 90s Superboy from the Return of Superman storyline. Now, he's a little too small. He looks like prepubescent compared to New 52 Superman. So, while I love this figure, I think that scale would be a little too small. The one that I found that would be the most appropriate, actually I want to keep him in camera so we can take a look at these guys all together. Let's move New 52 out of the way here. Is the Superboy Prime figure. Well, there you go, guys. There's the fall for this video. Thankfully, it wasn't the new one, because he probably would have just disintegrated. He probably would have just fell and evaporated and be gone. So, here we go. There's 3 different scales for you on Superboy figures. And I think the one, for me, that I would say would have been the most in scale is the Superboy Prime figure, because he does look like a teenager compared to, say, New 52. So, yeah, I think the new one's just a little too far out of scale. He's a little too tall. Of course, you can see the differing scales here between 3 different Superboys from 3 different time eras. The one that I think would be in scale the best would be the Superboy Prime, because he's kind of in the middle there between that Return of Superman and the New 52. Because, yeah, just to get a look at them, kind of side to side there. He's about the difference, he's basically like the difference between this Superboy and New 52 is the difference between this Superboy and Superboy Prime. So I really think had they made the new Superboy in this scale, it really would have fit better. Now, of course, we don't have the new Supergirl figure yet, but once we do, I, of course, will be picking her up. And again, she looks like she has some different articulation. They're changing articulation again on her figure. Who knows what we'll actually get once it's released, and who knows if she'll like be missing her head or like fucking random body parts will fall off her. But there you go. There's the New 52 Superman and Superboy. I'm going to go ahead and get Superboy in the case and try to find as steady a place for him as possible so that the risk of him falling over is negligible, because God knows I really don't want this guy falling over, because shit, I might not find all the pieces of him. Yeah, no, I'm being kind of a downer in this video, but I'm so unhappy with this. I hope that anybody else picking up this figure is not going to have the issues that I've had. From everything I've heard, though, from other collectors, the silver spots, that's a huge issue. That's being seen on most of the figures. I had one gentleman tell me that he had to sit there and dig through like all of them in his comic shop until he found one with minimal silver on it. Mine is the first one I've heard about the leg falling off, but this isn't, of course, the first one of these figures that does that. My Injustice Superman from the 2-pack with Nightwing, his leg immediately comes off. So, guys, I really hope that if you pick this figure up, you get a better version of it than I did. I mean, from a distance, he looks great. He'll look good in the display case, as long as you don't get too close to him. You can really see the silver, though. I can really see, like, the spot on his arm and one on his legs really shining out to me right now. And that's kind of bothersome, but yeah. So, I hope this wasn't too much of a downer for you guys. If you really want the figure, pick it up. But I would say get it from a very reputable company, or try to find a local comic shop where you can take a look at it, and then if at all, step outside your car, open the package, make sure everything's cool. If it's not, walk right back in and return it. Yeah, just don't make the mistake I did. Don't get it off of eBay. Alright guys, this is Rez the Collector. I really want to thank you for sticking with me through this video and listening to me rant. Of course, rate, comment, and subscribe. I do try to reply to all comments. I apologize if I don't get to it. Things are kind of hectic in life right now. Even though I am off work and kind of sitting home all day, I still have shit I got to get done. But I do try to respond to everybody. I do appreciate all my regular viewers. I appreciate all viewers. I appreciate any comments. Everybody's generally pretty cool. So there you have it. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.